greetings, family. You are loved and appreciated. This is Coach Charlene. I just wanted to come this morning just to have a little breakfast chat with you as I get up and start my day. I got a lot to do today, and I'm sure you guys do as well. But as I was studying and just really reflecting, um, I just wanted to talk about really briefly something. I was I'm reading this book, and it's called Mastering the Inner Critic, and it goes along with this Women in Leadership program that I'm taking. And I mean, some of the content in there is pretty amazing, actually. One of the questions that we were dealing with is they did some research and they found out that I believe it was 95%. They asked women in particular the question of what do you want? And 95% of the women were not able to say what they wanted. It really threw them for a loop. And I remember the first time that we were asked this question by Al Hollingsworth. I mean, he asked the question, what do you want? If God was able to come down or listen to you and provide you with what you ask for, do you know what do you want? And so that question seems to be very elusive to a lot of people. Now, I'm not talking about what do you want? Oh, I want a car, I want a house, I want this, I want that. No, I'm really talking about your purpose. I'm talking about the very reason for your being. And that's why it's an important question to ask, because at the end of your life, you really want to be able to say, okay, I feel like I did exactly what I was supposed to do. I was looking at a quote and it says, the greatest discovery in life is self discovery. Until you find yourself, you will always be someone else. Become yourself. That's by Dr. Miles Monroe. And so when we think about self discovery, I mean, really think about it, and we've been through a lot over the last year and a half or so. And we have had time to reflect and think about things in our life, get quiet. Sometimes we were too busy that we couldn't get quiet. But just I want you to think about it just for a moment, because I'm just gonna chat a little bit. Give you This is Sunday, so this is your manna for this morning, and it really goes back to self reflection, because I always like to deal with self. It's about us getting better. The greatest discovery in life is self discovery. Until you find yourself, you will always be someone else. And that's why it's so important for you to do the work that's required to find yourself. You have to find yourself, because otherwise you will be what other people want you to be. And so this is a task, and this takes a lot of self-discovery. And so as I was thinking about this book that I'm reading, The Inner Critic, Mastering the Inner Critic, I think about women in particular, and it's all of us, to be honest. But there's this inner critic that each and every one of us have, and it really hinders us from being able to move forward when we finally recognize something that we really have a heart to do, our calling, our purpose, a book you're going to write, a movie that you were going to produce, whatever that is. But we have this inner critic, we have this voice inside of us. It's a person, just like you're a person, that you allow to kind of control your life and continue to either downplay you or downplay other people. It's that one that when they see someone doing well, you start nitpicking and nicking away at their life, and you start nitpicking at your own life. It's that self sabotaging voice that's in our head that we allow to talk and to speak into our life. But that inner critic has to be mastered, because the voice will be there, but you want to get that, you want to listen to the coach in you. The coach in you will tell you that, you know what, you're doing a good job. I know it feels like you're not doing anything right now. It feels like you failed and you didn't succeed. It feels like, oh, you said you were going to do this, but you didn't. Instead, that coach is going to keep pushing you to become the best version of yourself. So, as we think about the inner critic, as we think about us really discovering who we are, we have to do some self-assessment in order to do that. Hey, Dodie, how you doing? And so I was reading about the potter, um, the one that molds the clay. There's the scripture, I think it's in Jeremiah 17, and God does us just like the potter does clay. He molds us, he shapes us. When he sees something that he doesn't like in us, he contends with us. He reshapes us until we become his image. And that's truly what we want anyway. I want his image to be reflected in my life. I want his brand to be represented in my life. So when you start thinking of it like that, when I look at the man and the woman in the mirror, then who am I seeing? Am I seeing his character manifested in my life? Am I seeing the glory that he has put on me? What am I seeing when I look at the mirror? Or am I allowing that inner critic that's on the inside of me to tell me that I'm not worth anything, or that I'm not enough, that I'm not beautifully and fearfully and wonderfully made? What am I allowing? Whose voice am I allowing to dictate in my life? And that's the question that I have for you. When you look at the woman, the man in the mirror, what are you saying to that person that's staring back at you? Really, take some time. I encourage you to take some time and look in the mirror and begin to start talking to that inner critic that keeps self sabotaging you, is sabotaging your success. Every time you finally get the courage to do something, then this inner critic begins to start nagging away at the things that you know that God has called you to do. And so start dealing with that voice within. Let me see here in Second Corinthians 3:18, and it says, "And we all, with unveiled face, continually as in a mirror, the glory and the Lord are progressively very transformed into his image from one degree of glory to another." What am I talking about? When I look in the mirror, it's really talking about the reflection in the mirror. We are changed as we look in the mirror. As I look in the mirror, and if I don't see something in me that's right, like I got a bad attitude today, or I'm very short with people, or whatever that flaw is that we have. If you have that, when you look in the mirror, you have an opportunity to change it. You can shift perspectives just like that. You really can, and it does take practice, however. So self-discovery. Let's skip back over to self-discovery a little bit. Even right now, where we are right now, schedule time to figure out who you are. Because until you do that, things are going to be a little bit difficult for you. You're going to be everything that everybody else wants you to be. So schedule time to actually begin to answer that question. What do I want? Who am I? I'm talking about journaling, really writing some things down, because you need to write things down, because it does something to your brain when you can actually write it down and see things happening. Another exercise that they encourage you to do in the book is to write down your past successes, all of the wonderful things that you've done. Just list them out, as many as you can, because you'll need those in those days that you're not feeling that you have accomplished enough. You can always go back to see what you have done, remembering those things that you were done. Remember that quote? She remembered who she was, and then the game changed. It's the same thing. You got to put things in your life like that so that you won't get discouraged. You won't feel defeated when what you're currently doing doesn't feel like it's enough. So I encourage you to do that. Write every one of them down. Then the other exercise that I thought was really awesome is when you look at your day, I want you to write down. I'm talking about your calling now, what you believe your purpose is and what you think you're called to do. You're trying to tap into passion, trying to tap into, okay, let me see, am I doing exactly what I'm supposed to be doing or not? So, guess what? You begin to start writing down what you do in a day. What you do at home, what you do at work, whatever you're doing in your day, whatever consumes your time, write it down and then put, if is that a calling, yes or no. Or yeah, you could just simply do that. I think that'll be easier. You got a yes column, you got a no column, and then you start listing the things down here, and you can tell where your calling is. And it's important to do that, because until you get clear about who you are and what you're supposed to be doing, you're going to keep doing the same thing. So when you get clear about who it is that you're called to, what it is that you're called to do, you can see it in your daily activity, because what you'll start seeing where those yeses are is really going to speak to your inner core. It's going to speak to your inner core. Speaking of my inner core, look, it's a part of your makeup. This is Carla's t-shirt, and it talks about her shop is inner beauty. And I love this quote: it's a part of your makeup, because our inner beauty is a part of our makeup, and our calling is a part of our makeup. When you're not doing what you know that God has called you to do, there's a restlessness on the inside of you. You're like, oh my gosh, I gotta get there. Even when you're doing regular things, you're gonna be like, "Ugh," it's gonna be energy draining. And you'll notice also on this list that I'm telling you to write, and I'll repeat it. So the question is, am I called to this? Or discovering your calling? I'll say it that way. So you put the list down. There's a list over here that you're listing your daily activities. And it can be personal and work, or whatever it is that you're doing. And then over here is a yes and no column. And then as you list things down, you put, yes, it's my calling. No, it's not. So if I put down, I'm in 50,000 meetings, 50,000 meetings all day, is that part of my calling or is it not? So you determine what that is. So that's the exercise I want you to do. And then I'm going to follow up with you a little bit later on that in a few weeks or so. But I encourage you to do that, just so you can try to tap into that essence. It's almost like the goal thing that me and Don, the 30-day goal challenge that we talk about, because you'll begin to see more things that resonate with you. But once you find out those things that you're called to, then you declare your statement, you write your purpose statement, and then you start working on things toward your purpose statement. And you become what you think about all the time. So as you continue to think about that purpose statement, that calling that you have on your life, then things will begin to start drawing to you. People will begin to start coming toward you, resources, all of the things that you need to really fulfill that you wrote on the paper. And so that is my little nugget for you. And I hope you have a great day. I just wanted to pop on before I jump into all of the things. I'm writing like 2 papers, you guys. So but you know what? I can't, I'm not even complaining about it, because, hey, when December comes, Charlene is going to be ready to celebrate. And I hope you will be ready to celebrate with me as well. All right. I just wanted to love on you guys a little bit. How you guys doing? Oh, hey, Dodie. The grandbabies are waving at you. Hey, hey, babies. I hope you have a great day. All right. I'll talk to you guys later. Love and appreciate you.